Hey all, I thought I would go ahead and make kind of a help video to get you guys started on this workshop problem number 1. It's a tricky one for sure, so yeah, I thought I would go ahead and make a video for you all. So, in order to figure out what we got going on here, we need to take this problem and sort of break it down into parts. One thing I want to start with is figuring out what are we looking for. So we're asked in part A to figure out what the force P is equal to. We're asked in part B to figure out what the tension between blocks A and B is equal to. So maybe I'll call that T1. All right, so just so we're clear, this is T1. It's here and here. Okay, and then lastly, we're asked to figure out what is the mass of block C. So in order to solve this problem, first thing first, we always want to start with free body diagrams. And in this case, we can draw it for any different object. And we also notice we have an acceleration. So block A is going to be accelerating down, and these two blocks are going to be accelerating up at 2.5 meters per second squared, as is given to us here. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take them one at a time. So let's start with block A, since that's where P is acting. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So for block A, what would our free body diagram look like? Well, we have P going down, we have mg going down, and we have T1 going up. And we know some of the forces in the y direction is going to be equal to m times negative a, since it's accelerating down. So if we summed our forces, we'd have T1 minus mag minus P equals negative ma times a. But we don't know P and we don't know T1, so we can't solve. Bummer. But maybe we'll be able to later. So now let's move on to block B. So over here we'll do block B. So for block B, what do we got? Well, we have T1 going up. We have, let's call this rope here T2. So we have T2 going down, which we know is 60 newtons, bonus. And then also going down, we have mBg, and it's accelerating up. So if we do sum of the forces for block B in the y direction, it's going to be equal to ma. And so we're going to have T1 minus T2 minus mBg equals mBa. So that's cool. And look, we're given mB, we are given T2, so we can find T1. All right, bonus. So T1 is just going to be equal to T2 plus mBg plus mBa. And we know, again, A, 2.5, 18 kilograms, 9.8, 18 kilograms, and T2 was 60 newtons. So you can solve for T1, boom, box worthy once you solve for it. Then you can plug it in over here and solve for P, because look, P is going to be equal to T1 minus mag, let's see, move that over, move this over, so plus maa. So boy howdy, there we go. We can solve for P as well, and then you can do the same thing for block C to solve for it. So for block C, what would our free body diagram look like? Well, we have T2 going up, we have mcg going down, and we have ma going up. Or sorry, it's accelerating upward, but that's not a force, so I don't draw it on my free body diagram, hence why it's off to the side. But yeah, it's accelerating up. So if we wanted to do sum of our forces for block C, it's going to be equal to ma. And if we do sum of our forces, we got T2 minus mcg equals mca. Need a little more room for my algebra. So to solve for ma, I get mc, I get my mc's together, so I have mca plus mcg equals T2, which we know is 60, and so we can factor out mc, and then divide, and so mc would just be equal to T2 over, that's terrible, I'm going to just rewrite that. Too sloppy, sorry. So it's just going to be equal to T2 divided by A plus G. So T2 is 60. 60 divided by 9.8 plus 2.5. Pretty easy. So yeah, 60 divided by a little over 12, right? Cool. Good. Boom. Box worthy again once you plug and chug. So I'm not going to plug in the numbers. I'm going to trust you guys to do that, but there you go. Pretty quick and easy process. But again, you just have to pay close attention to your details, like what direction is my acceleration? It's a negative. Okay, you have to make sure you label each and every force, and just breaking it down piece by piece enables you to solve. And if you get stuck like we did here, we didn't know T1 or P, that's okay. Move on, try to solve, and then come back. All right, so I hope that helps. Give that a go, and let me know if you have any additional questions.